Welcome to the Football Fellows. I'm Mark Fellows, that's Jake Fellows. We're doing the games for February the 2nd through to February the 4th. The first game up, the two early games this week. First game up is a 6-pointer, two teams near the bottom. Sheffield United at home to West Brom. Southampton coming off actually a decent performance against Man City, where they lost 1-0. And West Brom coming off a 2-2 draw at home to Fulham. Jake, Sheffield United versus West Brom.
I'm going to go with Sheffield United to win this one. Last season they looked to be actually a very decent team, and this season they've looked the worst, but recently they're coming back a little bit. They obviously just beat Manchester United, and they only lost 1-0 to Man City, which in itself is impressive for them and their season, losing 1-0 to the best team in the league. And they're home to West Brom, who are the second worst team in the league, in my opinion. And I think that with getting a little better and maybe a little more confidence now, Sheffield will win at home in this one. I'm going to go 2-0 Sheffield.
Yeah, I agree. Sheffield United seem to have got their act together a little bit, steadied the ship, defensively much better. Actually had a really good chance at the end of the game against Man City with Fleck just going narrowly wide. West Brom actually came back well in the second half against Fulham. We got completely dominated in the first half by Fulham. The game should have been out of sight. But West Brom much more impressive in the second half. But I'm going to go with Sheffield United 1, West Brom 0. And the second game on the early schedule is Wolves at home to Arsenal. Wolves coming off a disappointing 1-0 defeat at the hands of Crystal Palace. And Arsenal coming off a 0-0 draw with Manchester United. And I think it's 7 games unbeaten now for Mikel Arteta. Jake, Wolves versus Arsenal. What's your take on this one?
This one I'm going to lean on the side of Arsenal. Wolves are extremely boring to watch for the last weeks and weeks now. They rarely score any goals. They're just defensive sit-back kind of team. Arsenal actually surprised me. They look kind of good. Against us, they actually looked almost a better team. They created a good amount of chances. They have some pace in their team. They're energetic, and I think that the first goal will be big in this one, obviously, especially for a team like against Wolves. I'm gonna take 2-0 Arsenal, actually.
Yeah, I think Wolves losing Jimenez and Yoda not in the team, or not anywhere near the team, only off since his transfer to Liverpool's hurt them offensively. I do like Podence; he's a good player, but it's not enough. They are solid at the back, but the problem is they're not going to have the ball for long enough to keep their defence not too busy. So I think Arsenal have improved obviously a lot. They've got a lot of pace in the team. Young players are being more consistent now. I'm going to go Wolves 0, Arsenal 1. The afternoon games, you've got Manchester United at home to Southampton. Manchester United coming off the 0-0 draw with Arsenal away from home, and Southampton coming off a slightly disappointing game, or result actually, not necessarily the game, at home to Aston Villa where they lost 1-0. Manchester United versus Southampton, Jake.
Yeah, after the game against Arsenal, I saw Solskjaer's post-match interview, and he was saying the Sheffield United result was embarrassing, but away to Arsenal, it's not the worst. And I kind of hate that he said that. I really wish he was really angry, because our players individually, when you look at them, the lineups were much better. We should be all over them at all times in the game, creating chances, and we were completely the opposite of that. So I wish that he would be more angry and yelling. This next game is a must-win for us. We can't keep dropping points if we want to be not even title contenders, but top 4 at this point. So I'm not really sure about Solskjaer if he's that kind of manager to yell at his team. I hope he does. And this season we've really lacked coming out in the first 10-20 minutes and scoring or creating a lot of chances. It takes us a while every game, it seems like. I hope there's a reaction. I think there will be, even though I think Southampton's a really good team. They've showed that this season, all season, honestly. I know it's going to be tough, but I'm going to take Manchester United to win this one 2-1. I think it's going to be sort of close.
Yeah, I think Manchester United have flattered to deceive at times. You're right, actually. They don't score a lot of early goals, it seems to me. That it takes a while for them to get into their stride. Southampton have hit a bit of a blip recently. They've lost a couple of games on the trot. I'm not sure if they've lost that early form. They've got, I think Ings is back again. Ward-Prowse has gone a little bit quiet recently, but they've definitely got a good team. I'm hoping that Manchester United put Cavani up top instead of Martial. I think Martial should be on the bench for probably an extended period right now. Just not performing well. Doesn't actually even look interested, to be honest with you. So it's a difficult game to call really, because I can see this suiting Southampton this type of game. But I'm going to go Manchester United 2, Southampton 0. And I think Cavani's going to be amongst the goals this week. The second game up on the afternoon agenda is Newcastle at home to Crystal Palace. Newcastle come off a very, very impressive 2-0 away victory at Goodison Park, and Palace coming off probably a slightly predictable 1-0 performance against Wolves. I think, my feelings about Newcastle right now. I think they're going to be a team that's going to be improving throughout the season. They've got a lot of players back from injury. I felt bad for Steve Bruce. He's had to contend with a lot of criticism, and I think it has been down to the fact that he's not been able to keep the same team any 2 weeks. We did say previously that Callum Wilson is a really, really good player and is probably playing for the wrong team right now. But he did score the 2 goals against Everton. The South American guy, what's his name?
I know you're talking about. Crap.
Oh God, what's his name?
I know exactly what he looks like. I can't think of his name.
I mean, the amount of work this guy does is incredible. I mean, he just brings so much energy to Newcastle. I think Palace is a very dour team. I think you took Eze out and Sahar, their team would be probably bottom of the league right now. And for that very reason, I'm going to go for Newcastle 2, Crystal Palace 0. Jake.
For me, I'm
Almagron.
Yeah, Almagron. Yeah. For me, I think Newcastle's a terrible team. I definitely think they're gonna be relegated. Honestly,
not a chance.
I think it's gonna be Sheffield, West Brom, and Newcastle, and I think they're really bad. They have no creativity for me in the midfield. They have Shelby, who's so average. It's really insane. I don't think he does anything. And Palace, I know that you mentioned that Zaha and Eze are the whole team, but for me, that's enough against a team like Newcastle to get at least a point. I'm going to say 1-1.
Not a chance. The Newcastle definitely win this game. So that's Tuesday's game. Wednesday we have the early games. Burnley coming off a 2-0 loss to Chelsea, where they didn't have one shot on goal, at home to Manchester City, who just narrowly, as we said, just beat Sheffield United 1-0. Burnley at home to Man City, Jake.
Yeah, not a lot to say here. Burnley getting completely dominated by Chelsea, and if you're going to get dominated by Chelsea, you're going to get quadrupled the amount of
domination,
less shots, everything by Man City. So I'm going to keep this short and sweet. It's going to be a domination for Man City, 3-0.
Yeah, I'm going to actually go with the same result, Jake. I think I hate to agree with you about my team, but if my team has 17 shots to 1. It tells you something about Burnley when they're playing quality teams, and I think Man City have got that throughout their team. Again, still not sure whether they're going to play a forward. I know Jesus did score at the weekend, so that should give them a bit of confidence, but I don't think they really need Jesus. I think they've got enough quality in the midfield areas to cope without having a out-and-out forward. So yeah, Burnley 0, Manchester City 3 also. Next game, early game, is Fulham at home to Leicester. Fulham coming off the 2-2 away draw with West Brom, and Leicester coming off a surprising result, which we did call actually, where they lost at home to Leeds by the score of 3-1. So see if they can get a reaction. Fulham at home to Leicester.
Yeah, I thought Fulham were definitely going to beat West Brom, like I mentioned in the last video. They struggled to win, and I actually didn't watch this game, but apparently West Brom should have taken more chances to win, is what I saw from the manager's reaction. I don't know if that's true, but I would, like any other week, say Leicester would win this easily, but Is Vardy back? No, right?
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, I don't think he's back. So it's
Or
obviously
indeed he
a
is well.
massive deal. And Fulham have been looking good. I mean, I really thought they would beat West Brom, but these seem like two kind of up and down teams in the last 2 or 3 games, I guess. I'm not really saying it's the worst to lose to Leeds because I think Leeds are really good, but 3-1, I mean, also 1-0 up. They should be doing better. I'm still going to say Leicester are going to win, but I'm not very confident about any prediction in this one. I'm going to go for 2-1 Leicester.
Yeah, I think I was surprised that Fulham didn't get all 3 points against West Brom. I thought they were definitely the favourites to win that game. They did dominate the first half, but West Brom came back very strong in the second half, which doesn't augur well for Fulham. Leicester were actually outplayed by Leeds in that defeat. And like we said, Vardy is such a huge loss. Iheanacho's not up for it. Perez is not an out-and-out forward. Don't really have anyone to replace him, which is, I think they need to bolster their squad. I think I'm going to go here with Fulham 1, Leicester 1. I think both teams are in transition right now, so I think Fulham 1, Leicester 1. Leeds coming off that really good 3-1 win against Leicester at home to Everton, surprising defeat at home to Newcastle. Jake, what's your take on this one? Leeds Everton.
Leeds, I like them all season. Now, last couple games, they've won the last 2, I believe.
Yeah.
And 3-1 win just now against Leicester is obviously very impressive. They're playing against Everton, who are the most underwhelming team for the quality they should be seeing every game, but they're not. And for that reason, I'm going to take Leeds to win this one outright. I'm going to say 2-0. I think that their energy will be too much for the lazy-looking Everton team. I mean, I don't really understand why it's taking so long for them to click.
Yeah, I think Leeds were really, really impressive against Leicester, and I got to apologise. Bamford, I really didn't rate him at all, but he's been fantastic.
Yeah, that finish was incredible.
I mean, the whole game, he was everything that was creative came through him. The whole Leeds team, I like Rafinha was a really, really good player. Dallas, I think, is underrated. They look Harrison was really good.
Really good player.
Yeah, they look a really good, exciting team, Leeds, and I'm glad that they found their way again. They had a spell where they were a little bit inconsistent, but they seem to have got back on track right now. Everton, like you said, probably the most disappointing team, I would say, in the league right now.
Yeah, they started off 5-0. And
5-0, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin, couldn't stop scoring now. He's on a bit of a drought right now. Richarlison is the most overrated player in the league, probably. Yeah. And I think I wonder if he overrates himself. Clearly he doesn't. But, I'm surprised because they've got a really good coach there. And I don't know what's going on with Everton right now. They should be performing much better than they are and punching above their weight, but they're not. And like Jay said, the Leeds, they got so much about them in terms of, chasing down players, putting a high press on the other team. I think the energy is going to be just way too much for Everton. I think it's going to be Leeds 2, Everton 0. Aston Villa at home to West Ham. Aston Villa coming off a good, very, very, very good away victory at Southampton by the score of 1-0. And West Ham coming off a home defeat to Liverpool by the score of 3-1. Jake, Aston Villa, West Ham.
Yeah, Aston Villa, West Ham are two teams that I really think are a lot better than their standings. Or actually, Villa's actually quite high up for them. But they're both very good teams. They both play nice, and lately Villa's been playing really, really well, and which they should be because they have Grealish and Ollie Watkins and McGinn, who's not as good as he maybe was at the beginning of the season. But yeah, and Traore, their defense looks good. And West Ham, they have Souček, who's scoring the goals. They have Antonio, who's obviously good. So two good teams, but Villa at home, even actually away, I still think Villa, they're playing too well right now. I'm going to go for, I think it could be honestly maybe high scoring, or definitely a good game to watch. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go for 3-2 Villa, actually. Okay,
yeah, I agree. This is going to be a lot of goals in this game, I think. Villa, like you said, they seem to have very solid throughout the team. Midfield, attack, defence. Defence has improved tremendously. Grealish, for me, is probably player of the year this year so far. I mean, every time he gets the ball, he looks dangerous. He's not afraid to run at players. He reminds me a bit of Paul Gascoigne in his heyday. where Gascoigne would run at players and wouldn't pass. A lot of these players, they get the ball and they pass it sideways 5 yards. Grealish doesn't think that way. He wants to go forward. He doesn't mind taking, and he's got a lot of speed, a lot faster than I think people give him credit for. He's very, very strong on the ball. Obviously, he's the most fouled player in the league. West Ham, like you said, got some very, very good players. Souček, I like the fullback as well. From the Czechoslovakian guy, I think Mikel Antonio is very good. I think the only problem for West Ham is Mikel Antonio, as far as the forward is concerned, there's not else that can replace him really as a forward. But I think I agree with you, Joe. I think it's going to be a high scoring game. I'm going to go for Villa 4, West Ham 2. Now, next game, the last game of that day, we've got Liverpool just coming off the 3-1 win at West Ham against Brighton. A very, very impressive and deserved win against Tottenham by 1-0. Liverpool, put out a much weaker team against West Ham and still looked really, really good. I mean, obviously Salah was a class above everybody. But they look solid at the back for them, even with both their central defenders out, their regular central defenders out. I think the young guy that came in did very, very well. Jordan Henderson is a quality player and reads the game really well, very intelligent player, so not really a problem for him to play centre defence. And Brighton looked really impressive against Tottenham. They really, really played good football, and I hope that they get the rewards for that, because if you remember the beginning of the season, they were losing games that they should have been winning, and I'd like to see them going on a bit of a run right now, because I want their coach to get the credit for what he's done with Brighton and turning into a very attractive team. But having said that, obviously you're going to have to say Liverpool just way too good for them. I'm going to go. Actually, I think it's going to be a close game. I think I'm going to go for Liverpool 2, Brighton 1.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be close. Especially, hopefully, they have confidence now. Brighton. I mean, we've been saying every episode that they are a good team. They just, for some reason, can't get the results. They can't quite play the way they should be. And last game, they completely ran over Tottenham. They should have scored definitely more than one goal. Probably like 3 or 4, honestly.
Yeah.
So I definitely think hopefully they get on the right track, because their players are good. But away to Liverpool is just probably the worst game to try to keep your momentum and confidence up. I hope they play well as they did, and if they do, I think it'll be close. But I think, I'm going to go 2-1 Liverpool as well, actually.
Okay. All right, and Thursday's game, for the lone game on Thursday, we have Tottenham coming off that defeat to Liverpool against Chelsea with the win over Burnley. Always a big rivalry between Tottenham and Chelsea. Chelsea, like I said, just had 17 shots to 1. Tottenham haven't looked good the last couple of games. I think we'd said this earlier, that they're going to get found out eventually for the way the Mourinho's sets up, and sure enough, it's come home to roost. So Tottenham versus Chelsea, Jake. I
mean, we definitely talked bad about the Thomas Tuchel coming in. I'm not going to say he's a good manager. It's been one game he's won, but I mean, Burnley they beat Liverpool and they've had good results. So to go there and make them get no shots on target and complete dominate, it actually is impressive. Like it's definitely more impressive than people should think. It's very impressive. He did start Mount also, which is good to see. Hopefully, it continues for him. Hopefully, because the fans are going to get pissed at every little thing he does wrong after Lampard was sacked. And Tottenham in this game, I've said it every episode, I hate Tottenham. I think they're so boring. They're such a boring team to watch. I can't stand watching them. I don't think they're that good.
And is Kane back?
No, Kane's not back. And that's just their best player by a mile, with Son, obviously. It's so boring to watch. I really hate watching them, and I think they're boring. I don't think they're that good. I think Chelsea, after that latest result, they have a new manager in, they're going to be encouraged. I think they're going to win this 2-0, and they should honestly dominate that boring, really annoying to me team to watch, Tottenham.
Wow, I guess you don't like Tottenham that much.
No.
I think, I agree with you. I think Chelsea probably now got that win under the belt very, very comfortably, very impressive, obviously. I think, the players are going to perform again against Tottenham. Obviously, like you said, Tottenham without Kane makes a huge difference. Son can't do it on his own. You saw what Bow did nothing against Brighton. He's been so disappointing since he's come back. Almost a shame that he did come back because he's not going to be
Yeah.
remembered for the right reasons. He's a shadow of his former self. I'm not sure if he just is not interested. He's made so much money right now. He's not motivated. I'm not sure if Mourinho's handling him the right way. There's a whole bunch of things going on there. So I think Tottenham, for me, is going to be Tottenham 0, Chelsea 1. I think it's going to be close because they do play a little bit defensively, Tottenham, but I think Chelsea, man for man on the pitch right now, are far more creative, going to create more chances. Tottenham 0, Chelsea 1. So the bets for this week, as far as I think last week, Jake got 2 correct scores. He did West Ham 1, Liverpool 3, and Chelsea 2, Burnley 0. I had 3 draws that I predicted, even though they weren't the exact scores. I did West Brom and Fulham. I actually predicted Everton. Leeds to beat Leicester, and I think I did 2 other draws as well. I can't remember what they were now, but so for this week, my pick of the week by a mile actually is the Newcastle at home to Palace. I know we disagree on this completely, obviously. I mean, Newcastle at home are plus 188, and I think with Callum Wilson scoring again, I think Newcastle look really good. Amaron is a bundle of energy. I do agree that they're not the most creative in midfield. I think defensively they are strong enough to get a clean sheet against Palace. And as I said before, Palace, without Eze and Zaha are nothing. They're just a very ordinary team. I think for me they reflect the manager. I think he's very ordinary as well. So for me, that's the bet of the week. It's Newcastle at home to Palace. Plus 189. That's just my strong tip.
What are your other ones?
My outside one, I like Aston Villa actually at home to West Ham. Aston Villa are plus 121, which is pretty generous. Anything in the plus area for the home team, especially coming off an impressive victory against Southampton. As far as an outsider, to be honest, I've not really seen anything that jumps off the page to me in terms of anything as an upset. I just like Aston Villa and Newcastle was my banker home wins.
Newcastle and who?
Newcastle and Aston Villa.
Aston Villa. Okay.
Yeah.
For me, obviously, I'm not going to go into much, but I don't like the Newcastle one. He's definitely more knowledgeable and gets more bets right, I'd say, but for some reason I don't like this one. And honestly, whenever I get a bet against Palace, I think I wake up, look at the result, and Palace have made my team not win every time or somehow. But I'm not going to get into that anymore. I think for me, the bets, my favorite one is Chelsea to beat Tottenham away. That one I like a lot. And I do like Sheffield United to beat West Brom.
Chelsea plus 115.
Yeah, Chelsea plus, so I like that a lot there. Better than evens, even though they're away. And I do like Sheffield United at home, which minus 104.
Yeah.
I like them at home to beat West Brom, honestly. They're looking good. And Leeds, I wouldn't mind a smaller bet on Leeds and Aston Villa. I think those two are good as well. But for me, the better two are Chelsea and Sheffield United.
Okay. All right, so we'll see you back next week, and hopefully you can make some money off these predictions.
Bye.
Bye.